Mihály Bazsó is a Kangal breeder, who first brought the Kangal to Hungary. His Kangals can be found on all continents of the world. Two royal families, the Saudi Arabian and the English, and Princess Osmanoglu Gül, the granddaughter of the last Turkish Sultan, chose his dogs. Mr. Bazsó, when did you buy your first Kangal? Which was the first one in your kennel?
I had my first Kangal dog 25 years ago from Serbia, and then the others from Turkey and many parts of the Balkan region.
We have talked with a lot of people about the Kangals, and as we see, they are a fashionable breed now. What is a Kangal and what are the main characteristics of this breed?
First of all, and this is the most important aspect, they are livestock guardian dogs, or, as some say it, shepherd dogs. They excel in guarding sheep, goats, cows, horses, and even poultry. I would not say that the Kangal is universal, as there are no universal dogs. What I rather say is that they are a very intelligent and flexible breed of dogs. If you prepare them well for guard and protective work, they will be perfect protectors. You have to know in connection with them that in most cases they decide on their own how to react in a given situation. What I usually say to my friends and the owners of my puppies that it is not worth interfering in these decisions. You have to use these decisions wisely. This is a very undemanding breed. Concerning their nutrition, they utilize food very well. It is enough to feed them 3 times a week, but mentally, you have to have a lot of time to keep them well. They tolerate all types of climates from -40 Fahrenheit to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. They can reproduce themselves in all weather conditions.
Are there any difference between the Kangals and the other livestock guardian dog breeds? If yes, what are the main differences?
According to my experiences, there are differences. Compared to many Russian-bred shepherd dog breeds, like the Caucasian shepherds, the Kangal is not a killing machine, as May would like to see them and consider them to be. Kangals are very stable and balanced dogs. If you come to us, for example, my Kangals will not immediately attack you as some Russian breeds would. In Turkey, on the steppes, where these dogs worked for centuries, the shepherds and their flocks and dogs met at the drinking places and wells. They did not kill the other shepherds. At the same time, they can be very dominant with other dogs. If in a yard or ranch, somebody keeps a Kangal together with some other types of dogs, it is usually the Kangal who manages to dominate all others. Unfortunately, according to my experience, it is more and more difficult to get a real, pure-blood Kangal with the ancient shepherd dog instincts, as many Turkish breeders began to mix them with a variety of dogs with bigger sizes, like Malaklis, and many times with European Molossers. These dogs are huge, not fit for the work what the Kangals have done for centuries, and these dogs are sold on the basis of their size and weight. This is a very disappointing new development in connection with this fantastic breed. When I buy real Kangals from Turkish shepherds, once one of them told me not to make a circus or show dog of my Kangal. Teach him to listen to his name and come back to you when you want him to come to you, and this should be enough for both of you, as he knows everything else that is needed, he said. At that time I did not understand it completely, but now, so many years later, I understand and agree. A Kangal is watching and listening to everything around him and do not react instantly. If something is out of the usual sight, something strange is happening, then he reacts, and usually well. As we say it, they are for protecting the animals and the humans around them and for attacking anybody who comes close, and the real Kangals usually make absolutely appropriate decisions.
In one of your former interviews, you mentioned that your dogs give birth to their puppies in a natural way and without any assistance. What did you mean by that?
Let's start with the mating of my dogs. When the time of any of my bitches come, it is interesting in connection of my dogs is that the bitch chooses the male for herself. It happened many times that I wanted to make a given pair, so I chose the male, but the bitch did not accept him. I keep my dogs in a pack. On daylight I have to tie them as the ranch is not surrounded by a very high fence, and I release them every night and they work and live together. When the mating happened, the bitches who live here begin to dig big holes and tunnels into the ground as a preparation for the oncoming birth. All of my dogs have a doghouse on their own, but none of my bitches have ever born in one of them, and they do not like to spend time in these houses. Usually, they dig up the ground under them and sink them deep into the ground. When the puppies are born in these tunnels, at least 5 feet below the ground, and I do not even see them in the first month, as the bitch does not bring them out until time comes. Most of my bitches bring out those puppies, in connection with whom she feels that they will not survive and leave them outside the tunnel. For a while, I tried to put them back gently to the tunnel, but after a while I had to realize that it makes no sense. All of these puppies died. The bitch felt it perfectly that they are unviable, and she knew why she did what she did. For me, the most surprising behavior was what one of my best bitches did, who I imported from Turkey. She did not only put the weak puppies unfit for life out of the tunnel, but she ate them when they died. But the ones who she grew up stood their grounds as adult dogs all around the world. This can be one of the reasons why I have never had any guarantee problem. If somebody brings any of my dogs back to me, I repay the whole buying price and do not make a problem of it. Although I have dogs in the USA, Canada, Mexico to Turkey, South America and other countries and 2 royal families, the Saudi Arabian and the English, and the granddaughter of the last Turkish Sultan also bought Kangals from me. Besides breeding Kangals, I have business relations with the Oriental countries and nations, and I have very interesting experiences in connection with the status of the Kangals in these countries. If, for example, we went for negotiations to these regions, before doing anything, on the first day we did nothing else but talking about dogs and Kangals. On the second day we handled everything in connection with the business in a hurry, as business is less important than dogs. Interestingly, a man from a Western civilization could hardly understood this, and there, it is normal and accepted. I saw a lot of interesting things in these countries and learned a lot.
What would you say for a person, a shepherd, or a future Kangal owner, who would like to get a good, original Kangal? Where to look around, to whom to listen to before choosing a breeder?
The person who would like to buy a Kangal is in a very difficult situation. As the Kangal has become fashionable, there are tons of completely false videos and information about them on the social media and YouTube, and there are a lot of, in quotes, experts around, who has never seen a real Kangal working. For me, the expert is, who grew up at least 3 generations of Kangals, many litters, lived with them for a long time and have real, on-hand experiences. It is a very important thing to talk with people who have real knowledge about them. There are very few real Kangals all around the world, and it is more and more difficult to find them even in Turkey. It is one of my convictions that a Kangal is not fit for kennel keeping. To preserve their origin character, they have to live like lived with the nomads. The dogs that are kept in kennels are usually bigger, more robust, the muscles are more filled with fat, and, if we are talking about the Kangal breed, less able to work and preserve the original character set. So, look for breeders who have had generations of Kangals and whose dogs are still working, preferably with animals, the similar way the Kangal ancestors did it.
Returning to the beginning of this interview and to summarize what we were talking about. What is your opinion, for whom the Kangal can be an ideal dog?
I would never recommend a Kangal for a first-time dog owner without former dog experiences with shepherd dogs, and to people who live in urban areas. In the Kangal, there is a special software, or algorithm. They are above the average clever dogs, who are constantly looking for weaknesses, or inconsistency. As an owner of a Kangal, you always have to know, or feel, what the next step of your Kangal will be, and if you are a beginner with strong shepherd dogs, of course, you cannot know it. All real Kangals require a very decisive leadership and a big amount of consistency. If you allow something once, it is allowed forever, and what is forbidden, that is forbidden forever. Because of this, I never give or sell a Kangal puppy to any beginners. I would like to save dogs and their future owners from the mutual disappointment that can be caused for each others. This breed is for those who have experience with these types of dogs, have a lot of time for them, who have open spaces where they can live. A potential owner has to be prepared that these dogs will always behave dominantly with other dogs, and he has to have the control to avoid conflicts if necessary. An experienced owner can handle these situations well, but a beginner does not even notice the signs that something goes wrong and will explode soon, as he has no former experience.
Mr. Bazsó, thank you very much.